Hello, my name is Beth Dixon, and this is question 7 and 8 for lesson 1 homework. So let's look at question number 7. The fraction 3/10 is equivalent to what percent? And then on your computer homework, it'll give you a blank and then the percent symbol. So we don't need to type in the percent symbol, we'll just need to type in the number. So what we need to do is convert this. And the method I'm going to show you is to always convert your fractions into a decimal first, and then that decimal into the percent. And then going backwards, I will do the same thing. If you have a percent and need to convert it into a fraction, then we'll convert it into a decimal first and go from decimals to fractions and fractions to decimals, and then the decimals to the percents and percents to decimals. So the bridge is that decimal. So let's do the 3/10. And your teacher is not going to take away your calculator. So on your calculator, you're going to hit 3 divided by 10 and then the enter button, and that will give you your decimal. And I very seriously doubt this will work, but we will try. And so you're going to hit 3 divided by 10, and that will give you the 0.3. Remember, your calculator does not use the leading 0, but if you want to, you can type in write down the leading 0. So that would be 0.3. And then we're going to move our decimal 2 places, because all we've done so far is convert that fraction into a decimal. Once we converted that to a decimal, we'll move our decimal 2 places. To do so, we will need to add a 0 so that there are 2 decimal places, and that gives us then 30%, and in the blank, we just type in the 30. We could also, at this point where we get the 0.3, then multiply by 100, which would then give us 30%. Now let's look at question 8. Convert 75 over 40 to a percent. The first thing you should notice is that it gives you directions for what your answer should look like. Your answer, it says write your answer as either a decimal or mixed number. So if it's a mixed number, that means it's going to have a whole number and a fraction part. So if we get just a whole number part, our answer won't be correct. But it also says we can write our answer in decimal form, so that would be correct. So let's do it the same way. We're going to take 75 over 40, and in our calculators, we're going to hit 75 divided by 40, and then hit enter. Type in 75 divide 40, and then press the enter button. And again, I'm trying to make sure I tilt this in a way that you can see it. And that gives you 1.875. In this case, our decimal would move over 2 places, and that gives us 187.5%. So that is, to write it as a percent would be 187.5%, and that's writing it as a decimal. Because that is a 0.5, you may realize that 0.5 as a fraction would be 1/2. That's 5/10. It's 187 and 5/10. Well, 5/10 reduces down to 1/2. So we could also write this as 187 and 1/2%, and that would also be considered correct. So if you miss your example and you see 2 answers, those are the 2 acceptable answers and why there are 2 different answers. I would recommend that you just do it the top way, because lots of times we do other things with our answers that needs to that we use them for, and leaving them in decimal form is better for us in the second and third steps of some of our problems. So this is the process for questions number 7 and 8.